The legacy of Barack Obama. Victor Davis Hanson, quote, President Obama has systematically adopted a rhetoric and an agenda that is predicated on dividing up the country according to tribal grievances in hopes of recalibrating various factions into a majority grievance culture. A majority grievance culture. He has succeeded politically, but in doing so, he has nearly torn the country apart. Barack Obama, first of all, what do you mean by a majority grievance culture?
Well, it means that 51% of the population feels that they have a grievance against the population. And so when you say that gays and women and Latinos and Asians and blacks and people of mixed ancestry and the disabled, each person can
get up
find
to 70% of the
each
population
person can say that my particular identity is essential, not incidental to my character. And we're talking right now when we have riots going on in Charlotte, North Carolina, in a parent's situation where an African-American policeman shot an African-American suspect who may probably have been armed with an African-American police chief, and that set off a riot. And that suggests that people, if they're going to riot in a situation, they, meaning the protesters, what if the police chief had been white? What if the officer involved had been Asian? Would it have been worse, less worse? I don't know. But we reached a situation in which we're going to have to come to terms with a lot of situations. That the president, when he came into office, he did things that I hadn't seen in my lifetime. I've never heard a presidential candidate say typical white person, at least not since reading about it in the 1920s or 30s. Woodrow Wilson was the last person to identify that strongly with race. When you say you enter in, I didn't hear Bill Clinton say in the O.J. trial, well, Nicole Simpson looks like the second daughter I might have had, right in the middle of the trial, and the way that Obama editorialized about Trayvon Martin. And then you get into the beer summit, and all of that language created this image that it was okay to identify by your tribal affiliation. And that had been something in America. We're the only multiracial society. If anybody can find an example in the Balkans or Rwanda or Iraq where it works, tell me about it. But it's never worked, doesn't work very well in India. But we're the only ones that worked. And it was because for all the problems of slavery and Jim Crow and discrimination, the original European colonist who came to this continent evolved according to the ideas in the Declaration and the Constitution that race would eventually be insignificant. And it's hard for a majority population to do that, but we are evolving in the right direction. Apparently, under Obama, we felt that that's impossible, so that we are prisoners of our past, and it's important that we all identify according to tribal affiliations. And that's where we're going right now. And I don't think there's any history that I know of where that's going to work out well.